With all the years basketball has been around, many players and coaches have changed the game forever and made an impact that will never be forgotten. There are coaches that have put an impact on the game and changed how it is played today, a couple of which will be forever reminded in the mind of the fans of basketball. The first coach is John Wooden. He as a coach set the bar so high with wins and champions won that maybe no other coach will be able to reach. Wooden won 10 national titles in 12 years, and 7 of the wins were in a row. A quote by Wooden says, "I always try to make it clear that basketball is not the ultimate. It is a small importance in comparison to the total life we live. There are only one kind of life that truly wins, and that is the one that places faith in the hands of our Savior. Until that is done, we are on an aimless course that runs in circles and goes nowhere." He as a coach brought a new outlook to basketball and his players. Wooden dedicated his life towards coaching basketball and helping his players become respectful men on and off the court. He will always be remembered in the heart of basketball. Women's basketball has seen a number of coaches that have made a huge impact in it, but Pat Summitt has by far set the standard for girls coaching. Pat Summitt holds many records in women's basketball with wins and titles. Throughout her career, she has never once had a losing record, and in 2009, according to Sports News, placed her the 11th greatest coach of all time in sports. Summitt not only coaches her girls to play basketball, but she wants to make them better people. She was also named NCAA Coach of the Year 7 times and has won the national title 8 times, 3 of which were in a row. There are some coaches who believe you just let the best players get all the points. They can and stop everyone else. Others limit the best player and make the other people beat you. For us, we want to guard everybody. We really want to make sure that we make it hard or at least difficult for the players to continually make the plays, said by Pat Summitt. Summitt retired after the 2011 season with the University of Tennessee because of health problems. She has coached for a total of 38 years, and in that time frame, what she has been able to accomplish may never be achieved again. According to New York Times, Baylor head coach Kim McKerkey said, "None of us will ever have the impact that Pat Summitt has on the women's basketball. She is our John Wooden." There are only a couple players that could be named the greatest to ever play the game, but Michael Jordan is recognized by most of all the great players that have played basketball thus far. Michael Jordan by himself has broken more than 30 records. He was named the greatest athlete of the 20th century by ESPN. Jordan is known for his 6 titles he won with the Chicago Bulls and being the best scorer of basketball history. Basketball has seen its toll of great players, but Jordan tops them all. Overall, I think Michael Jordan is the greatest athlete in any particular sport. He dominated the game for the Chicago Bulls and brought the NBA to its greatest peak of popularity, said by Will McDuff. This great player will always be a part of history and the positive role model for young athletes to come. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games 26 times. I've been trusted to take the winning shot and missed. I failed over and over again in my life, but that is why I succeed, said by Michael Jordan. Basketball may just be called a sport, but in others, it's a life. This sport has not only brought great things to communities all around the world, but brought great people too. From its dark history of racism towards ethnic groups nationwide to its great coaches that have changed the basketball game. Millions of people watch and play this sport on a day-to-day basis, and this is one thing that will never change the history from where basketball came from. To women playing basketball, to rules changing again, the sport will never die and remain in the hearts of its fans. There are plenty of teams in every sport that have great players and never win titles. Most of the time, those players aren't willing to sacrifice for the greater good of the team. The funny thing is, in the end, their unwillingness to sacrifice only makes individual goals more difficult to achieve. One thing I believe to the fullest is that if you think and achieve as a team, the individual accolades will take care of themselves. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships, quoted by Michael Jordan.